Okay, so I said yesterday that I would show you the new hutch that the guinea pigs have got. It's basically for Christmas, but they were getting a new hutch anyway. They're still going to get a new hutch. This is just the kind of, it's not temporary, this is like, I'm going to be keeping this, it's a really good hutch. But I'm getting one custom built that's 3 levels high, because it's easier for me to look after them, basically if they're all in one place, and also if they're higher off the ground, because, yeah, I just need them to be higher off the ground for myself. Yeah, so this is the hutch, and I have the leaflet here that you would see in store, and here we go. It's the Rose Cottage, suitable for rabbits, guinea pigs, and those are the dimensions, so you don't really need to ask me for those. If you need to know them in feet, you can just use an online converter, so it's like 152 centimetres into feet. It's around about 5.5 foot. So there you go. And that comes with it, because then on the back it's got instructions to put together, and if you do buy this hutch, get someone else to help you, because I didn't have anyone else to help me, and it took me like over an hour to get the front and the sides on, because you really need someone to hold them up while you put the screws in, but I just didn't have help that day. So yeah, that is that. So what I want to show you about the hutch is how I've insulated it, and basically that's it. So I've cleaned the top level. It is a 2-level cage, but I've had to split it in 2 because there's 4 boys living in it, but they were fighting, so it's split into 2 cages. So normally you would have like 2.5 foot by 5 foot top and bottom. Can you hear the wind? It's insane. We get rid of the snow and we get the wind. But anyway, as I was saying, I've split it into 2, but normally this would be 1. And it is a rabbit side hutch, so it's heighted, but it's none of my business where you house your animals, but I wouldn't put a rabbit in a hutch outside anyway, so this would be perfect for guinea pigs if you have. So I'll get on to showing you how I insulated the hutch. So this is what this video is about. It's not cage tours, it's about hutch insulation. Obviously you're going to see what's in the cages, so you can kind of look at it as a cage tour as you want, but that's not the idea. So, woo! Falling over. Anyway, I'm not going to show you the back of the hutch, because then obviously I'd have to turn it around, and it's kind of in this space here. If you saw my last video, there were shelves here on the wall, but those were just put up years ago to store stuff in the garage. They had been in my bedroom actually. So I took them off so that I could fit this in, because the last hutch, which was this one, is 4 foot, and it was in this space and I needed an extra foot basically. And I also moved my mum's tumble dryer, but shh, don't tell her. Yeah, the little monsters are in the playpen over there while I do this hutch, and they don't sound like they're getting on today, so I'll take a look at that when I'm done. So, the first thing I did was on the very back of the hutch, I put space blankets on. I don't know if space blankets are called space blankets or they're called something else somewhere else, but that's what I call them. They're like the survival blankets you would get if you'd been in an accident, the silver like tin-foily kind of things. They're obviously not tin-foil. So I've got that on the back of the hutch, and there's some scores on it, because I need you to remember that if you put something round your hutch, there also has to be ventilation, because the hutch will suffocate. And I know that sounds really really weird, but you can suffocate wood, and then it'll get damp. And if wood gets damp, then it rots, and that's your cage. Your cage is done, finished with. So the space blanket is actually this stuff, and I put it on the roof, as you can see here. So this will actually reflect back the heat, so that you're not losing any heat out of there. So that's really good as well. So that's the first thing I did. I put this on the back of the hutch and in the roof of the hutch, and I've also put it on the door. The reason I put it on the door is because obviously this is their bedding area, and then when the door's closed, this will reflect back the heat, because they have a heat pad. So that's going to keep them extra warm. Sorry, I'm out of breath. I have asthma and it's kind of damp. So yeah, that's the main thing that I've done there. And obviously nothing on the outside because it's not required there. And then anywhere that there's bars, I've put on bubble wrap. So I've got 1 layer of bubble wrap, and it's secured on with what do you call it? Not duct tape? Yeah, duct tape. So it's secured on with duct tape. So I've got that there, and I've got it here and on the bottom and along there. So you'll need quite a large amount of bubble wrap, and you need good quality duct tape, because I bought cheapo duct tape from like Poundland or something like that. It doesn't work. The minute it gets damp or wet, it's off. So just get good quality. And again, do not suffocate your guinea pigs with bubble wrap. There are air holes, as you can see here, and you do actually need to open the doors every day because, I mean, you all live in houses with windows. In the morning, if it's been cold outside, you get condensation on your windows, so you'll open your windows a crack to let the condensation out. Same goes for your guinea pigs, Hutch. So there we go. And then, excuse me, so tired. And then the final thing that I've done is I've layered up the roof, because the roof is where most of the heat escapes. Not too much heat comes out of the bubble wrap, it's just kind of the air going in and out. I don't know what your temperatures have been like, but it's been anywhere from -6 to +6 here. Obviously it's not really above 0 at night at all anymore. So what I've got is an old insulated curtain. These are the like insulated liners that you put on curtains, and then I just put the curtain because there's no point wasting it. So that's going to keep the heat in. And then the last thing that I've got, I just need to move all my garbage, sorry. I'm currently going to make a complete mess here, and I'm sorry, I should have organised all this before I started filming. So let's put my scissors over here. I have an old horse blanket, so if any of you have horses or used to have horses and still have their New Zealand rugs, which is the outdoor ones, then these are perfect, and they're good in the autumn as well to keep your hutch dry. So this is my horse's old rug. It didn't go with him because it's expensive. He's on loan, if anyone wonders. And yeah, it was specially made for him as well, so it's kind of got sentimental value, and I'm keeping it. But anyway, so put that over the hutch, so it's just a fleece that's ready for the wash. So this comes all the way down, and I go backwards without killing myself, and then you can tuck it around the sides. It's not dirty, that's just old mud stains, that's what happens with horses' rugs. So they're completely covered. This is, the New Zealand rug is incredibly thick, incredibly waterproof, as you can see there. So that goes down, right round down the front and down the back, because, and oh, obviously I should say, not a pony rug, it has to be a horse rug. This is a 6'6" rug, so that's why it fits down the sides and the back. And then at the sides, I've just got the curtain, because obviously it's going to be drafty here because there's a window, and the same at the other side, and that just keeps the sides. And obviously you don't tape this down because, like I said, you will suffocate the wood. So yeah, that's how I insulate my hutches. The last thing I do is I shall show you the bedding and things like that I use. Now this is basically how to keep guinea pigs warm in winter. I know you aren't stupid, but I am going to say again, if your guinea pigs or your rabbits are outside, do not use fleece. Fleece completely wicks all moisture from the air. It holds on to the moisture, then it gets damp. Your guinea pigs get damp, your guinea pigs get wet, your guinea pigs catch the flu, your guinea pigs die. I know that's extreme, but that's just it. Like, just do not use fleece, do not use blankets. You need to use bedding. Even the paper, I use some paper bedding, and even that lasts like a day to 2 days because it gets damp, it absorbs moisture. So use actual pet brand bedding. God, I totally just shouted that at you, but please, just use pet brand bedding. Use straw, use Megazord, use hay, use bedding, use puppy pads, newspaper, all these things, but do not use fleece. Do not. I mean, this is not camera feel, but this is damp. This is just been absorbing moisture. It's here to be washed. Just don't use it. It's crap. Just like there. Just don't use it, please. But anyway, so in the bed they have, I can do this without destroying, at the bottom a thick layer of newspaper, and then there's a layer of straw. Then I have a puppy pad because that really absorbs the pee, and it actually saves you changing the layer of straw. I keep the same layer of newspaper and straw on the bottom for about a month. I just change it because it's not cool to keep it. And yeah, that doesn't mean I don't disinfect the cage. That means I just put the same straw back in because it's dry and clean. Yeah, and then they've got sawdust. So then on top of that, I will be putting more straw, and they get their heat pad in their bed. I use cardboard boxes. I recommend you use cardboard rather than plastic hideouts, because plastic hideouts, like if your guinea pig's in it and they're warm, the plastic can get sweaty and damp, and then they're going to not stay warm. And then cardboard and newspaper is about the warmest thing you can use, and you can surround it with straw, and that's amazingly cosy for them. then on this side they'll have their toys and all the rest of it. It's the same here. And then I also put in this strip lighting which completely lights up the entire hutch and obviously reflects off the roof, so that gives them a lot of light. Because it's dark from, I don't know what time it is now, it's quite, maybe 1 o'clock, 12, 1 o'clock, and yeah, they kind of need it on from then. They have got this window in the garage, but it just doesn't let that light in their hutch as much, and of course because there's bubble wrap, that actually stops light getting in, so you want to provide them with lights, but do not leave them on all night, because that's really not fair. And I'll just let you see down the bottom. I haven't cleaned the bottom out yet, but yeah, and then I'll show you the other thing to keep them warm. Down the bottom actually, I can show you, I've put the silver stuff here because it's split into 2 houses. It doesn't have the divider that that bedroom area has. So I had to create a warm section myself. So I put this on here, and then they've got a really, really thick box here, and they're in there. I think we can take a peek. Hello. And they've got a light on here, as you can see. It's just a push light. Hello under there. Who's under there? Oh, there's no one under there. They're taking the mickey out of me. They must be hiding in here. Hello in there. Who's in there? It's Mac Attack and Ollie. Hello. And Mac just had his first birthday last weekend. So yeah, you can see how disgusting they get after. This is about 3 days. Dirty little monsters. So I shall get on with finishing off the cage and making it pretty, and then I shall come back and show you the final product. Okay, so I'm finally finished, and as you can see everything's tidy round about. I finally swept the floor, and I want to do this quite quickly because it's cold and I still have the indoor hutches to do. So I wonder if you can see through there. Can you? There's Pickle having a drink. So yeah, anyway, you know how the outsides of the hutch is insulated, because I've already showed you, and that's kind of what it looks like when it's all closed up. Excuse me. So we'll start down at the bottom. They've got a squiffy water bottle because I poured boiling water in before the cold. What I meant to do was put in cold and then put boiling, so they had some warm water. So this is the inside of there. Oh, look at hi Ollie. What a cutie. Hello. He says, I want to be on camera. I want to be on camera. What are you doing? Have you got food? Oh, hello. So I'm going to open this door as well to let a bit more light in. Okay, so down in here, what they've got is a really, really thick cardboard box. It's one of those ones that's stapled together from their hut, because as I said, using plastic doesn't keep them cosy. And then once it snows again, or the temperature goes back down, why are you up there? Then I'm going to put straw on the outside of the box as well. So if I lift this up, they've got the same bedding as up above, puppy pads and things. You can see it's like packed full of straw. And then on the inside, they've got their Snuggle Safe heat pad. So they're both in there. And then this is down here to keep the heat in next to their bed. So I shall close the door. And they've got a light down there. And they have a light, can you see it, just hanging up there. I probably have to move that somewhere else. And things hanging. And you can't really see, but obviously to keep them warm at this end, there's a litter tray, and it's got sawdust and straw, and then a big pile of hay on top, which I don't even think you can see the hay. So yeah, and then obviously their food bowls in there. And they've got these logs to hide under if they're getting cold. So yeah, that's basically how I've insulated down there. And this was more here, and there's a light on there as well for them to see. So I shall close this door. And then the finished product up above. Here we go. They've got their strip light there. These are really, really good lights, and they seem to stick on, which is fab. Oh, and I bubble wrapped between the 2 layers of here and under the bottom of the hutch. It's got bubble wrap under it as well. So they've got a big corner litter box because they keep fighting. It's doing my head in. And it's got straw and hay in it as well. Hello, Pickalele. Hello, Pickalele. Hello. And then round there it's just space basically, and the edible log that I think it was Cal that chewed it really, and their bottle of squishy too. And they're in the bedroom area. This probably looks really stupid, I put a bit of cardboard there to stop Pickle jumping up, because he's going on top of the cardboard box, and I don't know if you can see that one over there. Zoom in. He totally smooshed it by standing on top of it, and Casper was underneath it, and I just saw it going down and down and down. So I've given him another box, and I put that there to kind of stop him going on top. And if you see there, this is their heat pad here. It goes in the microwave for 7 minutes and it lasts for 10 hours, so that's really fab. I heated them up in the morning, then I heat them up again at about 10 o'clock at night and then put them out. So yeah, that's their box, and it's really, really cozy. Hello, someone nosy. Hello. Hello, my name's Casper and I'm naughty. So yeah, and I've got a little bit of hay there so that someone can eat hay over there if he's been chucked out from here. I wish Pickle would stand up for himself. And then there's the hay ball. So that's basically how I've insulated my hutches for the winter. If you remember the space blankets there. And that's basically all there is to it. I'll maybe close this and turn off the lights, and you can see that it's like their own cozy little den with all the lights on and things. If I turn off the light, no, it's not dark enough yet. I'll insert a picture at the end, maybe. No, I can't. I took it on something else. I'll try. I'll insert a picture at the end of the hutch all lit up at night so that you can see it. So I hope that helps anyone with insulating questions. I mean, that's all I do. It is cold here, and I can't stress enough, please don't use indoor cages outside, and at least make sure they've got really thick bedding and a blanket to come down the bars at night. And yeah, that's basically all I can tell you about that. And I'm actually going to give them some of this dandelion feast that I got in Morrison's, so I should put that in there. Anyone coming for it? No, they're too busy arguing, of course. We'll leave them to it. I think when I move the boys around and put them in the playpens and things, they do get a bit stressy and funny and things, so I'll put this one. Go, Marky. There's some there. I'll move the logs out the way a bit. So that's their dandelion feast in there. Pop that ball back in. So that's how I keep my outdoor guinea pigs warm in the winter, and I hope that's helpful to somebody. If it's not, then please ask further questions below.